Ladies and gentlemen, We are back with another episode of Trenton Chappell Live. Today is a very awesome episode. I've been wanting to do this one for a very long time, almost since I think for like the past 2 years. I've been trying to get you on, and he's a very busy man, but I commend him for that, keeping the business afloat. Gotta pay the rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
uh,
man.
Mr. A.D. Bonner, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing good. How you doing, Trent, man?
I'm doing
Appreciate you.
fantastic.
Pleasure to be here, man. It's a
Yes,
pleasure to be here. Like you said, it's been a long time coming. We've talked about it, and here we are, man. I'm excited to be here.
yes.
I'm glad to be a part of your show and production, and so I look forward to just having an awesome interview with you. And thank you once again for inviting me and having me as one of your guests.
Of course. So I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about you're a musician and how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been pretty much doing it all my life. I just turned 45, kind of telling my age there. I just turned 45. I've been playing pretty much all my life. I started out in piano. My dad kind of made the whole family take piano lessons, similar to the
Mm,
Michael Jackson family. uh, I mean, minus stuff. It wasn't like the aggression and force, but with me, I was the only one that couldn't quit.
yeah.
And so he saw something in me early and he kind of made me stick with it. Even though I wanted to play sports, I did play some sports, but his focus was for me to stay in music. So I started on piano. Um, in elementary, I was taking private lessons, so I kind of, I was a little advanced, but I really wasn't that engaged. And then when I got to middle school, I got in choir,
Mm,
but quickly learned that I didn't like choir. I was more of an instrumentalist.
yeah.
And so, even though the choir director, thought I had talent, when I got to high school, I decided I was going to just try to be in band. So that's what I started on saxophone in the ninth grade. I went my whole freshman year really knowing nothing. I knew the basic stuff that I learned in music as piano, but it still didn't translate to playing an instrument in a band and how transposition worked and etc. So
Yeah.
I went the whole first year kind of faking. I tell everybody it's my story. I went the whole freshman, my whole freshman year, I was faking. I was in a saxophone section with a bunch of monsters these guys could play, and I just wanted to be there. And at a jazz band gig, the band director, he I was on the saxophone player there that day, and he told me to take a solo, and I was like, no, no, no. He was like, you're gonna take a solo, and he took the microphone, and stuck it in the bell of my saxophone, and I started trying to play, and it was horrible. And my mom, she recorded it, and that's during the time when we still were using like voice recorders and tape recorders. And so when I heard it, I was so hurt, and I felt like I was much better than that. And that's what made me start really practicing. That's when it all clicked,
Mm,
that moment. That's when I started practicing relentlessly all the time. And so I got a scholarship to go to college by the time my senior year came. Went to
wow.
Grambling, and got a chance to go to Grambling and experience, the tradition of the Grambling band. And I wanted to be a drum major. It's kind of similar to the movie Drumline.
Mm,
I think they stole my story. I tell people that, but but actually, I could read music and I played saxophone, but I actually became a drum major early on, and I was one of the, historic drum majors that they've had. Um, some people probably don't like me saying that, but that's true facts. And so that's how I got started into my career in terms of education and teaching music. So now I've always done gigs, but now I'm more into the solo act and the performing. I do play with some bands and sit in with different people, but the whole Saxy Slim, Adeebo Productions,
yeah.
that's what the drum major logo is. This is a picture of me at Grambling. I just kind of used my own picture and blacked it out like Michael Jordan does his clothes. So that's how my brand got started, and it's taken off.
It
Got
is.
kids wearing it, got the ladies wearing it. So that's how I got into the whole music thing. DJing, I started during the pandemics, like we're doing right now. Me and my nephew, we were kind of just sitting around doing music, interviewing each other, taking down questions. And then, of course, we met at other, me and you met at other facilities,
Mm.
and so that's how I started my podcast, and that's how we crossed paths, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the story of how I got here. So I know it's not really the short version, but I just kind of want to get it out to tell you how I got to this point.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, I used to be in band. I played the saxophone as well. But I quit because of how high school band organizations, the directors were just awful. And you've been in band, you've been in all that stuff. Did you ever witness anything bad, or was your experience really good?
Uh, well, I've witnessed about everything you probably could see.
Mm-hmm.
As a student in college, I didn't always get fair treatment.
Mm-hmm.
As as a drum major, I guess you can cry for spoiled milk, but I was just a hard worker, and some stuff, as I look back, I didn't realize it was mistreatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I can talk to some people about it now, and we can have honest conversations about it. Um, so I've seen things, but it also shaped me to how I treat my students, and not only my students that I teach at my school, but just students in general. I'm pretty popular by choice, but not by choice. I meant to say not by choice. I like to say I'm a broke star.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of money. So, if basically, I just try to, because people have watched my career and they watched some of the things I've done. I've tried to treat them, in a way that they will always be appreciative.
Mm.
And that's based on some of the experiences that I've had. So I can relate to what you're saying about directors because no offense to anybody out there. I've been 20 years in a career, but um, it's kind of like coaching. It's kind of like when you watch sports, when you watch some of the things that you see in the media about treatment, and some players get preferential treatment, or because of your parents, or because of a certain thing. Um, and then some directors, they really, you're just a body to them for the formation. Your well-being after is not really their it's not really their importance for some. There are some
Mm-hmm.
that really care, and they go extra, beyond the mile, the duty to, make sure students are fed, or whatever they need academic wise. There are a lot of great directors out there, but there are some bad apples, I must admit.
Yeah. And so, did you ever do the marching part of band?
Yes,
Did you
yes.
prefer marching over concert, or concert over marching?
Well, for me personally, I look at them. I try to always look at them as equal.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I relate a lot of things to sports. When football season is over, I'm a big basketball fan,
Yeah.
and when it's over, I'm a big baseball fan. That's kind of how I look at music. I love marching band during football season, and then in the springtime, I love concert band. I mean, it's not for everybody, and you have to be, a musician that really appreciates that style of music and what you're listening, the ear is listening for, what you have appreciation for, what you can learn, what you can interpret. So that's, me. I was always, part of my challenge as a drum major was to always still be the best saxophone player,
Mm.
regardless, because I wasn't playing every day in front of everybody. I wanted to make sure that I worked double hard and so over time that kind of helped me develop. I had a great appreciation for concert band, but I was drum major all day, every day too. Though. So, I can kind of, I can see both sides. There are a lot of people that prefer marching band. The world, the world appreciates marching band right now. You just kind of look at what you see on TV. The song "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck," is a song that I wrote for Grambling. There's a big argument out there with everybody about who wrote what, but I wrote it way back in 1999, and that started this wildfire of everybody trying to do a version of it. And I tell people all the time, when you go to a pro football game or a basketball game or whatever, you don't really see them playing some of that old stuff that they used to play they're jamming now, right?
Yeah.
Music is a universal language, and so I just feel like marching band is the vehicle that pushes everything else.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, even before the show started, I asked you to bring your saxophone on, and I want you to play something for us. I want you to play one of your. I want you to pick. What is your most favorite song to play, and I want you to play it for us.
Well, I mean, I got a million songs that I love to play. I mean, there's not one just favorite, but I'll tell you what I'll do is since it was Prince's birthday just
Oh
recently,
yeah.
I'll do a little Prince. I'll
Okay.
do Kiss, just do a little Kiss, something with a little groove to it.
Yes.
Uh, I'm gonna keep the mic off because I don't know how hot it is.
Yeah.
Um, if it's not loud enough, I'll just make it just.
Yeah. Here we go. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
Appreciate that, man.
Very good. See,
Appreciate you,
when
man. Appreciate it.
when we first met, uh, I was your producer for your podcast, and
Right.
the first day we met, it was the first day. You walk in and you bring the saxophone in, and I'm just like, oh no, here we go. And you played that song,
Yeah,
and I got up from the seat. I literally got up and was like jamming to this, and
yeah,
it's so good. It was so good.
man.
Um,
Appreciate that, man.
I gotta ask you, you play on the soprano saxophone. Is there
Right,
any reason why you picked that one over like alto or tenor or bari?
man. I'm gonna tell you. I love all of the horns. I love the alto. I love the tenor. I consider myself a monster on tenor if
Mm,
I just do it right. But what I found over the years and doing the gigs, the people love the sound of the soprano, and not everybody can play soprano sax. A lot of alto players they never even get to the tenor, and some people start on tenor and they never get off. They never switch to anything else. I played alto in high school, and of course, like I said, I was first alto the entire time I was at Grambling, and so once I graduated and got a degree, I switched to tenor on gigs.
mm.
I started playing the soprano, and man, it's just the ladies love it. And
Yes.
so, yeah, that's why. That's the main reason why.
There you
If
go.
I got to be truthfully honest, the ladies love it. The sound of it. When I do some of the slower songs and some of the more up to date stuff that's out there, man. That's the reason why. So my daddy always talks about blues singers, and they used to say that their guitar case was a starvation box. It's how, like you said, it's how they pay the bills.
Yeah.
So that's why I consider soprano. It's my starvation box, man. It's
Yeah.
what's getting me the gigs, man. It's what's getting people to give me these opportunities out here. So I'm gonna stick with it.
When I was playing saxophone, I played mostly alto, and then for my last year, I was playing bari for concert
Oh
because
yeah,
the band I was in, we needed like a low reed,
right.
and I hated it. And I couldn't get my I couldn't
Yeah,
blow hard
man.
enough. I was really good at
Yeah,
alto, and I've always wanted
yeah.
to play soprano. I always thought soprano was the coolest one because that's what Kenny G played.
Right. Exactly.
and that all the ladies love that one. You know, no
Yeah.
one remembers Alto. Like, no one remembers that one.
They're
Uh,
just in the band. They're just in the band.
yeah. Who are some of your musical inspirations?
Well, as you say, I'm not. I have never really been a huge Kenny G fan. I respect him, of
Really?
course. Yeah, I'm more into David Sanborn.
Oh, okay.
I love David Sanborn. He's like the first guy that I really just listened to as a teenager. Before I just knew what I was going to be trying to do. And then, of course, I love Boney James. Um, I like Gerald Albright, Najee. But those are just some of my favorites. Even when you go back to again, I always reference my dad listening to the blues, and you listen to Junior Walker, him playing the sax. Um, I get a lot of inspiration from those guys and the passion that they played with, and how they could take two or three notes and make a whole solo out of that, you know. So I try to do evoke the emotion and you know just keep the vibe going, man. It's actually slim vibe.
Yeah. I want to ask you because you do a lot of gigs. What's the one song you get requested a lot?
Man, it just kind of depends on the gig, but yeah, it really depends on what venue. I play for all demographics, man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, but this latest Money Long song, "Hours and Hours,"
Hmm.
that's a big lady grabber right
Really?
there. When the beat drops, they're hollering and you can't even really play because they're singing it over you. That's what I like.
Mm.
So, that one, and of course, what's this? Chris Brown, "Go Crazy."
Mm.
Everybody loves that one. So yeah, I got a lot of different fun tunes that I try to do. Of course, their Prince I just played. Sometimes I play Michael Jackson, Rock with You. So it just kind of depends on where I'm at.
Yeah. Uh, there's one song I want you to play by the end of the show,
Okay.
and it's the anniversary of the. It's about in August. It's the anniversary
Hmm.
when the song first came out,
Okay.
and it's a very popular song, especially in high school band. Thrift
Okay.
Shop by Macklemore.
Thrift Shop.
Yes. Do you know that one?
I've heard it. Yes.
You've heard. You okay?
Yes.
I.
Yes.
That's the song you have to learn. Okay,
I'm gonna have to learn that, man.
learn
I'm
that
gonna have
one.
to learn it. Yeah. I'm gonna have
Um,
to learn
I want to play the Hours and Hours real quick. I just want to hear you.
it. You want to play? You want me to do the hours and
Yeah,
hours,
man,
or
we got some ladies watching.
they may want to hear that Janae Aiko, man.
Oh, okay, okay.
Janae
You know
Aiko
what? You pick.
BS.
You pick. You surprise
Yeah, let me
us.
let me let me do Janae Aiko BS, man, because I think that one would fit the ladies. And I mean, they still may like the hours. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Let's,
pick.
let's
You
start.
surprise us. Okay.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Let me see, can I get that going really quick here?
This is awesome.
Yeah, so Janae Aiko,
Mhm.
her producer, man, he's hot in
Yeah.
California, man. I just listen to what he does, 'cause I play keys and make beats too. And it's like it's so simple, but yeah, man. First time I heard it, I fell in love with this song. Every time I play it, the ladies love it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
That's one of the favorites right there. The ladies, man,
Yes, they're
that's another
going
one.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I can't even play it. They already singing it.
Yeah.
I'm back up on my BS, after that song. Back up on that bull. They love that one, man. So
So
yeah,
let's talk about your podcast, Adeebo
yes sir,
Productions.
yes sir.
You host this with your nephew, correct?
My nephew, yes sir,
What's
yes,
his
yes.
name? Let's give him a shout out.
His name is JB, J the Beat Bonner.
Shout out
And we go
GB,
by
man.
we go by Bonner on the Beat as our group name.
Mm,
So yeah, it's my nephew, and like I said, we started doing that. We were just on the couch at home, just doing during the pandemic.
mm,
Of course, nobody was doing anything, so we're just sitting around the house, kind of how we got started.
yeah,
And we moved over to the studios, and we started our podcast, and we've been going a year and a half strong now. And
nice.
people look for it, man. We're excited about the growth that we've have done so far. So.
Yeah. Have you noticed any difference in the business that you've owned? Do you get more traction because of this podcast?
I believe I do. You never really just get that data, and there's no concrete way to really just know.
Mm,
But there's some people I know enough people do watch. Um, there are a lot of times that people who are going to book me that have already booked me but haven't heard me play yet. Then they check in and then they start tagging all these people to listen,
mm,
and so that turns into other gigs. And so yeah, the motto goes, "Let your next gig be your best gig,"
yep.
and that's what I do every time. Like wherever I go, I just try to, evoke the emotion, hope to leave the people, with a good time, and then somebody there is going to book me for something else.
Yeah.
So it's how it works.
And your nephew, does he do any? Is he a musician as well?
Well, he plays drums. Yeah, he
Hmm.
plays drums, but he's more for me personally. He's more of my cameraman when I'm performing, or he'll do the DJing. He'll mix up the tracks for me. So I mean, he DJs as well as I do. So, but he does play drums as his primary instrument.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, he's doing all the video stuff at church, so he doesn't really get to play as much. But sometimes we'll sit here, we'll be at home, we'll
Jam
get
session.
jamming, man. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, I, I invite people over sometimes, and we practice. We get ready for the gigs, man. So
Yeah. Um, I want to talk to you about what it's like going into a gig. Uh, when you go into it, you're performing live in front of a lot of people. Do you ever get nervous?
um, I've been doing it so long, and not really.
Mm,
There are times where you just how big the gig is, and you got to go out there, and you gotta smash it.
yeah.
But I mean, going back to my drum major days, conquering fear and turning turning energy into a positive thing, So sometimes maybe talking or just, doing something off the wall that just kind of lets me know I'm ready.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of how I go about it. Once I get on stage, once I find that one or two people that are bobbing their head or into it, you know, then I go to work and, I just kind of get in the zone and just go with it, man. Try to
Yeah.
let the songs connect with each other. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially for the ladies. Like I say, my main clientele, my target audience is the ladies, okay? So, guys, I hope they do cheer for me, but, the ladies are who I'm really playing some of this stuff for. And so, that's who books me,
Yeah.
that's who books me for the private dinners and,
Hey,
and the
there's
different
nothing wrong with
performances.
that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What's been like the biggest like difficulty going into this? Because you have your own company. What has been like the hardest thing about running it?
Well, just, trying to keep up with all of the nuances of running a business and, from a financial standpoint. I mean, I want to encourage any small business owner or entrepreneur that may feel frustrated sometimes. You got to foot the bill sometimes. I prepare myself, in my mind when I'm getting ready to do stuff. If I'm not going to have help from everywhere, I'm going to have to be ready to do this or do that. So, I kind of try to plan ahead and stay ahead of the game on what I'm going to do. Event wise, of course, when I'm getting different gigs, I don't have a set standard fee, but depends on what I'm doing. That price fluctuates. So um, I think the hardest thing for me is just still doing my primary job
Mm.
and trying to run the business. I'm hopefully going to turn the business into an everyday business to the point where when I retire, it's a smooth transition. I don't have, I can see the light on retirement,
Mm.
so I don't have a very long time. But they kind of go hand in hand, just like you said about the podcast, because teaching the many people that know me from that profession, they still book me because of what I do on my personal business. So I get a lot of gigs from teachers, cops. You know, I've done so many cops, uh, backyard parties, and a guy. I did a cop last month, and another cop booked me today. Like, yeah, I'm having a function at my house, and I want you to come play your horn. I said, wow. But let your next gig be your best gig.
That's right.
Continue to get gigs. So that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm just one. I try to stay encouraged, and get my rest, when I can, and I go get that. The money's on the table. I'm going to get it,
Mm.
and that's how I look. I don't turn any gigs down unless I'm just double booked or something. There's nothing I won't do. I performed at just about any type of gig you can think of. This Sunday I'll be at the Lone Star Park horse races. There's an event there that I'm DJing and playing the sax for. And
Nice.
so, I mean, hey man, just let your opportunities continue to just.
Have you ever had an event where it was just going terribly?
Yeah, I've had some
Yeah.
some some buckles in the past.
I feel like
But
everybody should have one of those.
yeah,
Like especially with me, like there's been days where I'm doing videography work or a podcast and it's just like I'm just like, "Oh no." And I'm
yeah,
looking over at people's reactions and it's just like, "Oh no." And I feel like with those it makes you better because you learn
right,
from that. I want to
exactly.
hear the story uh of the worst event you had to do. What was going through your mind through that?
Um, well, I'll say as performing maybe last year at Bishop Arts. Really, again, I just kind of started DJing, and I wasn't really DJing this gig. I was playing my sax, but I had all my equipment hooked up so I could make smooth transitions, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still learning the board at this time and learning little DJ tricks and stuff. I watch a lot of people, and some kind of way I accidentally something on my keyboard. I hit a button on my keyboard that made all my tracks play in reverse, and I didn't know how to rewind it, right? And I'm panicking, like, cause I'm ready to go to the next song, and it's playing like, and everybody's looking like, okay, you were jamming. What happened? And I'm looking like, oh my god. So I'm talking to my nephew. I'm talking to my manager. She was there, Michael Ware. And I'm like, okay, like, hurry up and Google, figure out what's going on. So in the middle of um, just kind of playing a cappella, my nephew figured out what it was. It was I must have hit the A key because A reverses the tracks. And I didn't know it at the time because I just started, I DJed a little bit, but that never happened. So that was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to me because I had them like all hyped and man,
So they're,
everyone
so
was
they're,
going,
they're like this, and then
yeah. And then it gets to that, like, it's like, and
what?
then it's playing for a long time. We can't figure out, like, I'm like, okay, what happened? And I hear him like cut the volume down. I'm like panicking. I'm trying to play. So I just played the song I was supposed to play without playing the track until we figured it out. And by the end of the time I playing that song, we figured it out. So I worked it out, but that was a very, very critical and scary moment. I learned from it, so yeah.
That's kind of funny. I could just imagine the crowd being like all amped and like going like yeah, do it, do it, do it, and then what, what, what the hell?
The whole group is gone, man. Yeah, so yeah.
Wow, wow. All right, I want to hear "Saxy Slim." That's like a very iconic song for you.
Saxy Slim.
Sexy
Okay.
Slim. Let's hear that.
Okay, let me pull it up, man.
I this is what I won't lie. This is one of my favorite ones. When I first met you, this one was one of my was up there along as well as Kiss.
Yeah, man. I actually made that track at home,
Mm-hmm.
just messing around. Um, on GarageBand,
There you
just
go.
goofing off. Hey man. And so the voice, the lady's voice is a friend of mine. She came over and just we just goofing off. That's how this, as you say, people like it. I haven't been playing it as much, so I'm glad you're asking for it because I
Oh
want to
yeah.
hear it. Appreciate you
This is
for
this
the
is
compliment.
this is like your theme song almost. There you go.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah.
one. That one's just it's like
Um,
that should be like your walkout song. That should
hey
start playing
man.
and you're just like, yeah, ladies, I'm here. Let's get the party started. So I want to
I'm
ask
having,
you, what's next for 80 Bonner Saxy Slam? I want to know, are you making an album? We gotta have an album coming out.
oh man, I'm working on it. I just, it's the timing,
Oh
and
yeah.
but I've got about 4 or 5 tracks now. Um, so I'm just trying to keep building
Hmm.
and then put them all together, man. But that one, and I got a couple more that I play on the podcast that the ladies always request. So it's coming together, man. I just got to keep putting the puzzle pieces together.
It's like we need an album. Like I want to know, are you do you write your own music? Like are you sitting there at the bars writing like F G A? Like are you making your own?
Well, yes and no.
Hmm.
I can do that, but going back to, like I said, my whole piano experience, and then I write for bands. So I've got like a built-in piano in my head, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I know exactly what I'm going to play most of the time, if that makes sense. So I don't really chart them out because I know if somebody's playing with me and I say, hey, I'm doing a C minor to a G and F, or I'm doing a 1 4 5. If I do numbers or call the letters out, I got it like that. You know what I mean? I can pick up on it because of going all the way back to how long I've been, playing piano and the training. So it's easy for me. So yeah, when I make the tracks, I play the keys, I play the bass line. I'll put most times I'll use an 808 or something that they already have on GarageBand, but there are times I'll put my own little drum beats in there too. I'll get the recording of the ladies here, but most of the times I'll go play the sax part at Session Works where I kind of record most of my stuff. Now the Saxy Slim sax part, I actually recorded here at home.
Hmm.
I did all that here in my house. I don't have all the state of the art stuff that you see these guys have. I just kind of got a makeshift mom and pop, set up here.
And it
Go,
sounds good. Like
man, I appreciate it.
and if people listening, it's over Zoom that they heard it over. But when you hear it in person, like I've heard it in person,
Right,
you can't tell at all.
right,
And
right.
it sounds awesome. And I'm excited to see what you're gonna do next because
I appreciate it, man.
I'm waiting for it because I'm gonna grab that immediately.
You're definitely gonna get a copy of whatever I get, man.
Yes.
I appreciate you. Like I always said, I look forward to working with you on other projects, man.
Yes.
So there's gonna be times where I'm gonna need your services,
Yes, sir.
vice versa. So whenever we continue to build and build networking, and just hopefully down the line we're gonna have big things that we're gonna be doing.
Yes. So, Mr. Bonner, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Have you? It's always a weird transition when I do these, but have you heard of pod decks? Have you heard of these?
I have not heard of,
This is my
so I'm
favorite
looking
part of the
forward to
show.
learning.
Let me tell you about pod decks, Mr. 80.
Okay.
Pod decks are these cool deck of cards that allow you to make your podcast 10 times, 20 times, a gazillion times better. And that's my word. Uh, they come in a little box like this. And today we're going to be using the What the Heck deck, which is a bunch of random questions that pod decks are making me ask you. Not making me. I love asking these. uh, so, if you guys want to check out these decks after you hear some of the questions, like some of the promo questions we have, you go to poddex.com and use promo code TCLIVE. If you're watching the video, it's right above us. It's TCLIVE. That's TC Live to get 10% off your first purchase. All right, Mr. 80, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
First question. How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
17.
17. Explain.
Well, it's gonna take an army of them at least. I know.
Yeah,
Um,
17's the number.
17 is just that number that I feel like this is just randomly. That'll be it. They'll get the elephant down.
Oh yeah, I'll get that. Uh, what set of items could you buy that would make the cashier most uncomfortable?
Repeat that.
So, what set of items could you buy that would make the cashier the most uncomfortable?
Um,
Oh
most
yeah,
uncomfortable.
we're getting to the nitty
Um,
gritty, man.
those little square boxes that guys have to get sometimes if they need it home.
The square little boxes.
that's
Oh,
my
oh,
answer.
oh. Okay,
That's my
okay.
that's my
It
answer.
took me a second to realize what you were saying. I get you. Okay, yeah, that is pretty uncomfortable. I would say like, you know, I always get uncomfortable when I buy alcohol for some reason. Because I'm 21, about to be 22, so it's still I still feel bad. Like, here you go, and like I see your ID, and like there you go, and they're like, yeah, you're good, and I always get stressed out for some reason. Still,
Well, welcome to the other side, man.
yeah, man, the
You're gonna
grass
get
is
to the
greener
point
over
where
here.
you're gonna feel like being ID'd is a compliment.
I mean, like there's some places where I get ID'd, some I don't, because I have the beard, and people think I'm like 30, and I'm like, all right, cool. What's the longest you ever waited in line for something, and what was it?
Ugh, what's the longest I ever waited in line for something? Let me see. Um, I would say a Cowboys game,
Okay,
home opener.
okay.
Um, the lines get long from after the tailgates. So, but I'm willing to be the first one to go in the stadium and yell. So, yeah, I waited a long time.
All right, real quick. Show and tell. Besides your saxophone, show and tell me something.
Show and tell you something.
Something that's in your office.
Something right here in my office. Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna just pull this little saxophone microphone. I got a couple of microphones here
Yeah.
that I'm not using. But that's the first thing that I saw when I turned around. So
Okay.
I need some batteries to get going here, so I can be walking around playing live.
Okay. That was good. That was good. You know, I'll even do one too. I'll do one too. All right, hang on. Uh,
Yeah.
this is a good one. All right. I got this on a trip.
Oh wow.
It's a pen holder, and it's a clown. Uh, I got this when I filmed my very first feature film, The Hauntings of Jefferson, Texas, and it's a little souvenir for me. I think it's my mom is terrified of clowns, so that's part of the reason why I bought it.
Oh
But
wow.
I think it's
You
so
want
funny looking.
you want to terrify mom, man?
I mean, it keeps her away from my desk because it just stares at her. But yeah,
Well,
hey,
because
I've
mom
had it
mom
forever.
knows best.
She does.
Mom's gonna go through the desk. You know that.
Oh
If
yeah.
it's not
She's
there.
like, I gotta find that paperwork that he was supposed to give me. and it's like right there. All right, what's the scariest sound you can hear in the middle of the night?
Scariest sound?
Yeah.
Uh, well, I'm gonna. There's an owl, and owls sleep in the day, so you hear it all day. But there's an
Yeah.
owl that lives over. I swear it's in my neighbor's tree, because I can hear this owl like it's right outside. And at nighttime, you hear a bunch of weird noises outside. I've actually went out to like listen, and I've seen this bird like fly by my house, huge wings. So I know it exists. There's some kind of noise. I don't know if it's mating, if it's calling out, what it's doing, but there's a weird noise that happens about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and
The
it
worst
ain't
time too.
it ain't sleeping. I'll tell you that.
All right. What slogan or jingle is stuck in your head forever?
Slogan and jingle. Um, let's see. I'm a jingle person. I'm a slogan person.
Yeah, man.
So that's why one won't just jump out at me right now.
Usually when you put it on
Um,
the spot, it doesn't come out.
right, exactly. Because I want to think of the one that I always say. Um, everything that's good to you is not good for you.
It's a good one. Yeah. You know what's stuck in my head forever?
What's that?
Oh, 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 O'Reilly's, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ow! There you go. All right, this
They
is a
need to hire
okay.
you, man. They
If
need to hire you. They
yeah,
need to
man,
hire
I
you.
know,
Man. That was a good free little commercial for
I
them,
know.
man. They
Hey, sponsor me.
sponsor, hey, right there, man. You just did. Hey, you need to send that little clip in to them.
I
They
know.
might
I'm
get you in the
going to
studio
now. I'm gonna clip that. Just send it O'Reilly's.
and hey, put Sexy Slim in the background, put some
Yes,
music back there with
sir.
you. Hey, man,
Dude, we would make the
O'Reilly might.
best ad. All right, this question. If there's a yes to this, I want to hear the story. All right.
Okay, okay,
Have you
okay.
ever been arrested? And if so, why?
I have not been arrested, but
Lame. No, I'm kidding.
like now I've been accused.
Really?
And so I can give you a little backdrop of that story, which,
Yeah.
goes back to what I was telling you about the mistreatment.
Yeah.
And so, one of my professors, a lot of people know it's not a secret. He kind of did a witch hunt on me,
Really?
and it led to some stuff that was not true. And because of my popularity, I had to take some negative hits, but
Mm,
I beat all of that crap because it was not true. Now, of course, if you've been arrested, there's a record of that. I've never been arrested, but it was said that I was, and
wow.
so yeah, should be a rich man. But I had to kind of think about my career and some other stuff. So um, yeah, so that's probably the one thing about that part that I'm not happy about.
Yeah.
Never have been. So I don't have a story to tell. Unfortunately, I know a lot of
Dang.
people have that 1-2 story to tell, but
Yeah.
fortunately, knock on wood. Now I'm hoping that nothing's gonna happen to me, and I don't have to experience it, but I haven't thus far.
Yeah. I'll tell you my little story. This is when I was dangerous. I was a dangerous little kid. I was like 7.
Wow.
And so I feel like every kid has to go through their phase. And I was at the grocery store with my mom. And this is a very funny story now. We were at the grocery store and I think oh one of the gum brands just came out with a Sour Patch Kids gum flavor now. It was brand new at the time. And I
Mhm.
wanted it. I was like, hey, it's like $2. It wasn't even that much. Inflation didn't kick in then. I was like, hey, can I have this, mom? Please? And she's like, no, put it back. So my devilish little mind, I was like, no. So when she checked out, she'd put things in bags, right?
Mhm.
And I slid the gum into one of the bags, right? See, I didn't put it in my
Oh,
pocket, so technically she stole it. So I slid it into one of the bags. But here's the strange thing was when we walked out, the alarm thing didn't go off, so it didn't go. Beep, beep,
okay.
beep, beep. It didn't go. So I was like, oh, sick! I got away with it. And then while we were taking groceries in, I remember what bag it was. I went in and took the gum out, put in my pocket. Okay.
Oh wow.
So I was. This is a heist. All right. This was Ocean 11. All right. Ocean's 1. Okay. I go to my room and I hide it in my sock drawer, of all places. And we were. I hide it. It's there for like a day. A day. She comes to my room and I don't know what she was doing, but she was like looking for something. So she went to my drawer and started looking, and she finds it. And she goes, "I didn't buy this." And I go, "Yeah, you did." She goes, "No, I didn't." And so she has the receipt. She's looking, and she's like, "I didn't buy this." I go, "Did you steal this?" I go, "Technically, I didn't. You did." And I got in trouble. We had to go back up to the store. I had the manager talk to me and say like, "We're not going to file anything on your report," trying to scare me into like, as they do. But yeah, that was my first ever heist, and it didn't go well.
Man,
If I just
Trent the Hype.
if I didn't put it if I put it in a different drawer, I would have gotten away with it too.
You would have got away with it, but
Man,
you have to learn a lesson at that point.
yeah.
Man, Mom knows best.
All right.
Trent the Terrible at 7 years old. Man,
The terrible.
God.
Yeah, man, I'm so evil. All right,
Oh man,
we got 3 more questions here.
not a problem.
All right, this one's a very controversial question. Okay,
Okay.
and this one can either get you canceled or not. All
Oh
right,
man. Oh wow.
toilet paper,
Oh
over
wow.
or under?
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Under.
So like this. So the wall is right here, and the toilet paper hangs down right here. So you grab it like that, like a psychopath.
Yes,
You're wrong.
that's me.
Uh,
That's me.
no, it's over,
It's, not,
dude.
it's hanging over it. I'm just gonna yank it. I'm gonna pull it.
No, man, it's over. You have it over.
After, yeah, man.
No.
This is just bad. It's the Al Bundy in me. You know,
Yeah, Bundy.
I love Al Bundy, man. And he would have. I just imagine it. That's how he would have done it.
Yeah.
If his wife told him to do over, he's gonna do under just because she said.
There you go. Yeah. This
Kind of
next
how I do it.
question. This next question. All right. This is also something like this, but I have a heated debate with my friends and family about this all the time. But
Okay.
cereal, like the breakfast,
Cereal.
the breakfast,
Okay. Uh huh.
soup or not a soup?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
that's a trick question.
It is a trick question.
Well, it depends on what cereal.
I mean, like, oh, okay. Here, let's classify oatmeal first. Oatmeal, because that's
Okay.
considered cereal to some
Right.
people. So, what would you consider that?
I would consider that. You saying it out of soup or cereal?
Like soup or not a soup? So cereal
It's
and
not a
oatmeal,
soup.
not a soup.
Not,
See,
not a
I would
soup.
disagree because it's when it's heated,
It's
right?
heated,
Right? It's a mixture of different stuff, and you eat with
including
a
water.
spoon. See, I
So that's
consider
what
that,
makes it soup.
yeah, because like, what do you eat? You eat soup with a spoon, not a fork.
Right.
You know,
True that.
like mashed
True that.
potatoes, for example, mashed potatoes. You can eat
Right.
that with a fork and not have it seep through.
That's true.
Yeah, see? Now
So is that a
cereal,
soup? So is mashed potatoes a soup?
no, no.
See?
But cereal, like with milk, like milk and Cheerios or something like that, or Fruit Loops, is that a
Yeah.
soup or not a soup?
It's not a soup.
I have to disagree again.
Because when they get soggy, they're going to become a soup, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch gets a little soggy. It's basically a soup now.
It basically is. Did you know that some people eat cereal with water?
Yeah, it's a little strange and weird, but
It is weird, right?
I've actually, my dad made me do that when I was young.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, he did the whole movie Friday. You better put some water on that. Like there was no milk. It's like, man, it was the worst thing ever,
It
man.
is.
I'll just eat it dry if that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I put water on it? That's really a soup now.
Because it's like there's no flavor with it now. Like
Right.
it just washes away.
Right. It's just sock.
Yeah.
It's a
For
soup.
my last question is something. It's actually a very important question. In your own words, what is success?
Oh man, in my own words, what is success? Success is 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 accomplishing the goals that you set, and even if you don't accomplish them, the work ethic that you put in and the lessons that you learn, as we've been talking about all along,
Mm,
the lessons that you learn and how you get better from those lessons and how those create new pathways for you. You don't always, who very seldom do people go, they graduate high school or go to college and they do exactly what they set out to do. All right. A lot of times there are different paths. And like I think it's the old Robert Frost poem, the road not taken, right? Sometimes you have to take the road less traveled. And so success is defined in your mind. It's not really defined by money. It's not defined by status. It's not, it depends on, what you want to do. So to me, it's about your work ethic, and accomplishing your goals.
yeah,
You
man.
know.
It's a great answer. Great answer. Guys, if you like the questions, that wasn't even a fraction of what's left in this deck. If you
Oh
guys want to
wow.
find out the other ones, please go to poddex.com and get 10% off by using the promo code TCLIVE at checkout. But look at this. We had three other decks right here. The
Oh wow.
interview deck. We had the Would You Rather deck, which is like a bunch of Would You Rather questions.
Yeah.
There's also this one. This one's a really cool one. I haven't used this one yet, but it's the episode deck, and it has like episode ideas.
Mm-hmm.
In case you're running out of ideas, which all of us do
Well, I'm
sometimes.
gonna. Some of us do, right?
Yep.
But I'm sure that some of my people that when they see this podcast,
Mm.
um, they will be interested in because they like to play those games and love
Yeah.
to ask those questions. So yeah, man,
And
that's
it's like a
that's
get to
great.
know you kind of game. Like you only have to
Right,
use it
right,
for your podcast. Say like you're doing like a
exactly.
an icebreaker thing. Like,
Oh yeah,
hey, is soup
definitely.
a is cereal a soup? And
Yeah,
have a full on debate.
that's a great debate right there.
It is.
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Well,
Everybody that thinks it is on this side over here. So it's yeah, could lead to it could actually turn into a big war right
yeah.
there.
So guys, again, go to poddex.com and use promo code TCLIVE to get 10% off your first purchase. All right, Mr.
So
Grady, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was such an honor to talk to you and have you play for us. And I, I see some stuff. I can't wait to what the future holds for you. When your album comes out, I want us to be the first one to listen to it.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I
And
definitely.
we gotta stay in touch more, all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely.
So where can the
I
people
appreciate
find
you.
you on social media, website, anything to get your business going up, man?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Before I say that, I just want to let you know I thank you for having me as one of your guests and allowing me to use your platform to inform people about myself
Yeah.
and actually, like I say, and get to know you a little bit better. So I appreciate you. They, all your people, if they want to find my music, I have a website, www.adbartermusic.com. And you can download all my tracks with the ones I have on the website. They're no charge, right? You can just listen in the car, listen at home, or whatever. I got all kind of genres and different types of music on there. So hopefully you'll find something that you like. Also on Facebook, Instagram, AD Barner Music, and then of course my company Adeebo Productions. That's spelled Adeebo Productions. Instagram or Facebook. I'm kind of slow on TikTok and YouTube right now, but I do have those channels, and you can find me just about anywhere. Um, a lot of times people, they record me, post on their pages, so I kind of just share their stuff on my page. You're more than welcome to follow. Hopefully you will follow. I look forward to interviewing with you again in the future, Trent.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that's looking to book me, for a backyard party or a wedding or reception or a restaurant or private dinner, whatever, I do it all, baby. I'm
He does it
all-purpose
all.
music. Yeah, multi-purpose. I'm Lysol or something.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Again, go check out Adeebo Productions. We're on Facebook, where they do a live show every week.
Right.
It's a great thing to listen to. He plays music on there live, and it's awesome. But yeah, book this guy, man. Talented
Appreciate
man right there. And
appreciate
well, that's it. These
appreciate you, my
endings suck.
man. Gotta say bye, right?
Yeah, you gotta say bye. But we're out here, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Uh, Peace.
All right, have a good one, sir.